We are technically live. So, Matt, what's going on, man? How
Not,
are you?
not much, man. Happy Friday.
Yes, happy Friday. It is. It's very nice to be Friday. We've had 2 long weeks, and today was a nice down day for us. How about you?
It's been a busy week up here. But first things first, Josh, happy anniversary to you and Taylor. 5 years. She's had to deal with you legally deal with you
Le-
5 years.
That's a good way to point it. That she has had to deal with me legally for 5 years. Boy, what is it? It's 2021. I think we're going on. What is this, like 12 or 13 years total? So
She needs a medal.
yeah, tell me about it. A big one, a real big one. Yeah, well, welcome everybody. We started off the podcast a little bit differently this week. And welcome if you are watching us live or if you are listening in the car post live podcast. You're welcome. And we're Goldgell Getaways, or Matt and I are part of the team of Goldgell Getaways. And if you don't know who we are a full service travel agency who can help you plan your next trip to the world, Disney World, or around the world.
Exactly.
I've been trying to think of that up like all day. Did not come out the way I thought it was.
We always struggle on how we're going to start that one, but
yeah,
I mean, we got all inclusives, we got cruises, we got overseas trips, we got all available destinations and agents that are knowledgeable about every spot out there.
Yes, absolutely. So whether you have big kids, no kids, big kids, I can't even talk. Whether you have big kids, small kids, or no kids at all, Goldgell Getaways has a travel agent who can help you plan your next destination vacation. You can head on over to www.goldgellgetaways.com and fill out the form, get a free quote done. All of our services are complimentary, so it really is beneficial for you to use us. We're super smart for the most part. I mean, I don't know about myself, but yeah. So weird start to this podcast because I decided last minute to mix things up on Matt and myself.
Throwing me a big curveball. No music kind of threw me off in that 60-second countdown to get myself mentally focused. You're messing with me.
I know. That's what I'm here for. I'm always trying to throw things out of whack, which is what I just did to myself because I got rid of the script for today. But yeah, tonight we are going to be talking all about planning a universal vacation. Taylor and I were just over there this past week, and then we stayed over there last week for a couple of nights. My brothers were in town, and we had just such a fantastic time over there, and we thought that it would be a great opportunity for us tonight, Matt and myself, to kind of talk about it. And, I know that our audience is probably mostly Disney vacation goers. So tonight we're going to be making a lot of comparisons to Disney in order to kind of help you better understand Universal and planning wise. And, at least for myself, that's how I rationalize it. So, but yeah,
like we've said last week, this is kind of, we were winging this one. This is the last.
Absolutely. And of course, once again, I can't believe that this has happened. This is the second time in 2 weeks. Yeah. We had somebody on last week. It's just Matt and myself. No guests this week. So, cheers. I'm actually sporting. This is my Endless Summer mug from Universal's Endless Summer Resort that I picked up, which was really cool. So, each and every week, this podcast is brought to you by Chef Adam. You can learn to cook online with Chef Adam. He hosts these virtual cooking events. It can be for a large party. It could just be for you. Really, anything that you want to do, Adam can really, put something together for you. We've been doing a lot of theme park cooking classes. Those have now ended, but just be on the lookout for some pop-up classes this summer. Adam is taking a little bit of a break. But I think if we don't have any pop-up classes, we will be back in full swing come this fall. I think we were talking maybe around September or something like that. So pretty exciting. We actually Taylor and I did a photo session for a couple who have been on the cooking classes a few times, and they were asking when the next one would be. And I told him, look out for those pop-up classes. Of course, I got to share this video as always. I can't believe I dropped that.
I can't believe you dropped it on your computer. Not even
But
the counter, the computer.
I know, but in my defense, I did have quite a few Jedi mind tricks to drink. So, it happens. It happens.
See, Josh, I'm hoping obviously I know where Adam's next destination is for a little while. I'm hoping like a little pop-ups, little seafood, little New England, maybe lobster or something from up in the New England region.
Oh, wow. That would be really nice. We would definitely be all about that.
Adam, if you're watching, make that happen. Us New Englanders would want that, especially with you guys going to be up here in the area.
And I know somebody was just asking about Adam's websites. I threw up www.adamgoldgell.com on the screen. I am going to throw up the other one here real quick. Honestly, guys, if you are looking to like learn some new stuff, it's really one of the best ways to do it. Adam is very thorough about what he's trying to teach you. And not only that, but it's always something that you can carry with you later on. You get all the recipes for whatever you signed up for. So you can always go back and cook those again. But yeah, we've had a great time. So
portion sizes that you cook are huge. Can last like I've said in the past. I did the macaroni and cheese class, and that was about almost 7 to 8 days worth of macaroni and cheese.
Yeah. And to start for us, we did the cheeseburger egg rolls way back in the day, and we just cooked those again. I think I mentioned this last week, but we just made those again last week as well. But fantastic! It's just really nice to be able to have that, and we can whip those up really easily now. Second time we've done it. The third time, it's going to be like a breeze. I certainly won't make any mistakes while I'm cooking. So,
can we hold you to that?
No, you cannot.
Yeah, because
not at all.
That's not true.
Awesome. Well, Matt, why don't you take us on to all the good stuff, man?
The big one that we like to talk about every week, the Royal Caribbean Cruise, Barbados with the boys and Taylor. So this is going to be our group cruise out of Barbados on December 12th. It's a 7-night Southern Caribbean island hop. Leaving out of Barbados, like I said, and stops in Trinidad, Tobago, St. Vincent's, Grenada, Dominica, and St. Lucia. Like we've talked about in the past, the great part about this one is there's no sea days. It's all about the adventures and being out on the islands and exploring and enjoying different cultures. We want everybody to join us on this. We got a decent number of people joining us right now. It's great. Word I want to use, end of the year hashtag revenge vacation as some people have started to call it. Want to join us? Events at Goldgell.Getaways.com. Subject Barbados with the boys.
I can't wait to see these t-shirts. These t-shirts, they're going to be awesome.
I think the best part, Josh, and some people know I work in a vocational high school and we have a graphics department. So some of my baseball players that are in that, they're going to be busy
I can't wait.
First of the school year.
I can't wait. They're going to be sweet. I might need to get a couple extra, like maybe some different colors, just so I can rock one every day.
Yeah, we can make some stuff happen. And then coming into 2022, we have some room blocks. So the main thing about a room block is it's a price lock that we were able to get on certain types of rooms. And the best part about it, it's over both school vacations. So it's over February school vacation and it's over April school vacation. So the February is going to be leaving on February 19th. It's a 7-night Royal Caribbean on the Symphony of the Seas, leaving out of Miami. So the stops at Perfect Day, Coco Cay, Antigua, and St. Thomas. That same itinerary is going to be the one for April as well. It's going to be April 16th. Subject, February vacation, April vacation. Right to events at Goldgell.Getaways.com. We have agents that are very knowledgeable about Royal Caribbean cruises, and we'd be more than glad to guide you on your next cruise.
And it is just the absolute perfect time to escape the cold weather, especially for
Yep.
that first cruise. If you're up in the Northeast or in the North somewhere, uh, that is probably one of the times. I think usually one of our favorite times to cruise is during that time because you get away from the cold weather, you get some nice sunshine, a little bit of warm water, and you get to do just like total relaxation. So,
Yeah.
Oh, can't wait. Can't wait.
And
Is it
then,
my turn?
oh, this is the one. You know what I mean? Everybody. You hear the rumblings, Josh. Everybody likes Barbados with the boys, but this is the cruise that everybody is going on in 2022.
That is true. I think for the most part, we are sailing to Alaska out of Seattle, and this is going to be in July. I want to say July 15th. That is the correct date.
Yep. Good job.
And I know, right? And I'm always lost for words because Alaska, what is it, the final frontier, the last frontier, whatever. It is just such a beautiful scenic area. I've never seen it, so I'm just speaking on behalf of photos that I've seen and of everything that we're going to be able to do. I can't wait. So we are in the midst of planning some excursions. Taylor and I were looking last night as to maybe what we really might enjoy. We're kind of bouncing that back and forth off of some others. And I know one thing, or many things that I would like to do is see whales, walk on a glacier, take a ride with the dog sleds.
Yep.
I don't know, maybe fish for salmon, maybe pan for gold. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on.
That's the part, Josh. Is there's just so many options that are just amazing opportunities. You know what I mean? Like the dog sleds is something I'm really big on. The whale watching, just eating salmon as much as like my body can take is.
I know. I can't wait. Oh man, and this is going to be on Ovation of the Seas, which is a newer ship for Royal Caribbean, and it's made for cold water. So if you've potentially been on maybe a Disney cruise that has gone up into like the Northeast or even in Alaska itself, and maybe you didn't really enjoy the fact that the pool and some of those other like amenities like the decks are all open to the outside air. What's really great about Ovation is that it's designed to be in cold water. So a lot of those are still, your adult area, the pool, the hot tubs, those are all kind of still outside, but they're actually enclosed within like glass so that it still stays nice and warm in there. You can still have a really great time and you don't have to worry about being cold. So,
I think that's what makes Alaska though. I kind of want that little chill.
Of course. Well, you just walk outside and then you have that chill. That's how you got to do.
I mean, in this ship, it's got this. They got that the ball that's in the air. I don't know why I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head right now.
The star something, I think.
Yeah, Vicky and Laurie would be so disappointed in us right now.
Probably. Probably.
But you can take an acrobat class. Like that's crazy.
The North Star.
North Star. Hey, thanks, boss. But there's just so many options on ship. On land when you're in Alaska. This is going to be. It's what are we almost like 12, 14 months away from.
Yeah.
I'm counting down now.
And there's still room left. Still plenty of rooms available, but do remember that cruising is very much like a lot of hotel. Well, I guess maybe not, but in a way it is. But as we get closer to that date and rooms slowly disappear, the price is going to go up. So if you are interested in doing it at all, I would really suggest send an email to events@goldgellgetaways.com, put in the title or in the subject line, Alaska 2022, and get a deposit down at least so that you can secure a room and you secure it at a better price than what it would be later on, kind of that last minute planning. So it's going to be so much fun. And I can't believe that I actually almost forgot to play.
No, you tried to do it on purpose.
My silly dance moves. Yeah, so that was our whole group from last time. It was so much fun, and then we went that same night. We went right into the one of the adult areas and did a silent disco. And yeah, there it is. Look at that. Oh man, such good moves.
I like the lip syncing more. That was
Right?
I don't know what was going on there. Yeah,
Dancing with the Stars actually reached out to me, but I unfortunately had to turn it down.
didn't fit in your schedule.
It just did not. It didn't fit my schedule. So
Maybe next season.
absolutely. Awesome. So anything else to add?
Not on the cruise front. Obviously we're getting into the starting of the bookings on the Wish. Maybe some news over the next 2 or 3 weeks on
That's true.
Maybe something coming down. Well,
yes.
Stays tuned over the next couple of weeks and see what happens.
Yes.
Ready to go into the news, Josh?
Let's break into the news. I had to keep something slightly consistent for this podcast.
Yeah, if we didn't have that, I was probably going to be thrown off a little bit. I see something in the chat. Pam wrote 2023. Do you want to?
No, I don't think that's what we were teasing at. But I can just say again, 2023
passport, need it.
Passport starts with a J. Japan. All right. I don't know if anybody heard that, but take it away, Matt. Where are we at with news this week?
Not much of a news week from coming out of Disney, but things we've talked about over the last couple of weeks. Packages are now available all the way into the summer of 2022. As we talk about every week, we recommend throwing a deposit down on a room for that or a package due to the fact that we're getting into the 50th anniversary all the way into the end of 22, and we don't want anybody to get left out on any of the magic that Disney is going to have this fall into all of 2022. So if you're looking to book, reach out to a Goldgell Getaways agent and throw down a deposit. What other news do we have, Josh? I know I didn't put it down here. Is right when we went off the air last week, is Disney followed suit with the no mask policy. Did you guys get over to Disney this week too?
We did actually. And I got to tell you, I just want to state for the record, just, for everybody watching that, whatever your preference is, 100% support you. But for me, I was pleasantly surprised at the amount of people. It seemed to be a little bit more like 70-30 over at Universal, 70% not wearing a mask, 30% still wearing their masks. And then over at Disney, it seemed to be a little bit more like maybe 50-50 at times, 60-40 at times. But it is just really weird. It's so weird. It almost feels like you shouldn't be walking around without a mask on. It's so odd. And I'm sure many people have made the mistake. I was actually just over at Disney Springs yesterday and was walking around outside, and we were I was with some friends. We were chatting. We parted ways, and I was going to walk into the Fit to Run store on my way out of Disney Springs. Walked right in without my mask on. It almost becomes so like you're so comfortable right away without having to wear it on as you're walking around outside that you forget that you almost have to put it on. So just remember that anytime that you guys do go inside, you do have to have your mask on, and also in queue lines. So that is probably one of the biggest things to come out of last week and most of this week is that it's just the mask policy has changed dramatically. And also, which I don't know, maybe I might be jumping ahead here.
You can jump. It's okay. It's our podcast. We can do what we want.
Yeah, I think Disneyland actually also just made an announcement that their temperature checks are going to be going away sooner rather than later. So another big change for them. Might be good news for everybody else, hopefully soon, that non-California residents can get into Disneyland. So that's something that we are chomping at the bit for sure. But Yeah.
I mean, I think that was really pretty much it came out of Disney. I mean, all those restaurants started to open back up. Cape May, Chef Mickey's Dinner. I'm excited to get over there when I can, when I come down in a couple months.
Yeah.
And just destroy skillets of food. That's
Oh boy.
yeah.
How about it?
Put on a show, but the big the big start of the week was Platinum Castaway Club members could start booking on the Disney Wish this past Monday, and
Yes.
as of right now, so as of this taping, it's Friday. All Platinum members at this point can book on the Disney Wish. So I mean, people have started out on that, and next Monday starts the week that opens up to probably, I'm going to say, a good portion of the rest of the Disney community out there. So May 24th, which is Monday, is going to be all the Gold Castaway Club members. Tuesday is going to be DVC and Adventure Insiders. And then Wednesday, which I think is going to be probably one of their busier days, which is all the silver members, which Josh, you're silver.
Yes, unfortunately, if we could have gotten onto this cruise last August that we were planning, and we would be gold. So we'd be able to jump in that, in the rest of that group on Monday. But unfortunately, we're gonna have to wait till Wednesday.
Yep, me too.
Fingers crossed. We'll see what's left.
I think there's I've been following some streams on Facebook, and there seems to be a lot of availabilities left. The maiden voyages seem to still have a decent amount. Maybe they're holding out certain numbers for different groups. I think that's weird, but we'll see.
They certainly could be, but I still think, we still have a lot of people before we get to even start. There's still quite a few people in gold.
Right.
Obviously probably the biggest chunk of people is going to be silver, because that's just all you've had to do is take one cruise. And then you're in that group. But I think we still do have quite a few people to go. So we'll see. But hey, you know what? If we don't get on that first cruise,
August 22nd, 2022,
we'll see. We'll see.
And as we've said, general bookings. So that's pretty much anybody that wants to book at that point. Anybody who has not experienced the joy and amazement of a Disney cruise can start booking on Thursday, May 27th.
Yep.
So I'm not supposed to say this. I might call out of my real job on Wednesday just so I can be mentally prepared to make my reservations.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think for the most part, everything, obviously, just to help the booking process here for everybody, you can book online. I think the only people that cannot actually book online are DVC members and Adventures by Disney. So
right, for going into next week.
Yeah, you will have to call. And I would almost bet that regardless, probably all next week, the Disney Cruise Line's phone lines are going to be tied up almost the whole week. So, so we'll see. But
it's going to be a fun week.
Yes,
fun week to try to get on the Wish. We're going to skip over Universal because that's pretty much our topic of the night. So we can just skip over that. We can jump into some Royal Caribbean news. News that actually I think came out this afternoon.
Yep.
Serenity of the Seas is going to begin July 19th. These are going to Alaska. So July 19th, 2021, out of Seattle. So that's a start. You know what I mean? That's a good thing for Royal Caribbean right there. They got that. And then the Ovation. Ovation of the Seas is going to be starting on August 13th. Josh, what are you thinking about that? Like, this is a good sign.
Yeah, it's really great to see. I'm a little bit jealous that we're probably not going to see cruises here in Florida for quite a while, and now they're going to be doing some cruising to Alaska. But if anybody out there doesn't know, because of how the U.S. works and with maritime law, cruises actually have to stop at a foreign port of call, so to speak. And basically what they've done for the cruise industry in Alaska, or for Alaska, is they've kind of omitted that. So these cruises, if you so choose to take one, will be going directly from Seattle to Alaska. So there will be no stops in Canada. Canada has closed its doors until 2022 in February. And I'm not even really sure that there's cruises around that time to Alaska in February. But this is, you're 100% right. This is a great start. And, I think the other thing that is really great about this is that everybody has to be vaccinated.
Right.
And with the new thing now where I think they've made it for kids 12 and older or something like that.
So what it is, crew members in vacation with 16 years of age and older will be fully vaccinated against COVID-19. And anyone 12 and older after August 1st has to be as well.
Okay. All right.
So I'm assuming anyone during that July, let's call it July 19th to August 1, I'm assuming you're going to have to show some sort of not vaccination card, but negative test.
Right.
For the younger one. And then some like kind of stinky news coming out of Royal Caribbean. Vision of the Seas was supposed to go out of Bermuda this summer, and they've backed off of that one, and will no longer be using Bermuda as a home port this summer. They said to still be on the lookout for a possible change to that.
Right.
With everything, not COVID friendly right in Bermuda right now. I can understand why. It's everything's going to change every day. It's not. It's it's just the way of the world right now. You got to kind of roll with the punches a little bit, and just keep pushing forward. And then we don't talk about Princess Cruise Lines often, Josh, but they're going to be going out of Alaska starting on July 25th.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. On the Majestic Princess out of Seattle. So all of them are pretty much leaving out of that Seattle seaport area, which is awesome. And that's it pretty much that I have for any cruise news this week.
Yeah. I don't really think there was much of anything else. I don't know. Did we talk about it last week? Royal Caribbean is now no longer having their newest ship sail out of Israel. They are actually repositioning it to, I think it's actually coming to the States, or to the Caribbean. Yeah. So one of their newest ships was supposed to be sailing out of Israel next month, I believe. But of course, with everything that's going on, they've actually canceled that. And so now they are booking cruises. I want to say it's in the Caribbean. I'm pretty sure. So a lot is changing very, very quickly. And so, of course, as always, I can't say this enough. It's really great to have a travel agent who stays on top of the information so that you don't have to. www.goldgellgetaways.com. Shameless plug.
Yeah, and then one last thing, Josh. I just scrolled down on a script. Disneyland Hotel reopening on July 2nd. Then I think that leaves only one more Disneyland hotel not to open yet, or is that all of them?
I think Grand California is already opening, right?
Open.
With DVC, maybe regular rooms, Paradise Pier, and Disneyland Hotel. There's only three.
I think that's it. Yep.
So yeah,
I forgot about Paradise. Yeah. So they're all going to be reopening. So
awesome. That's great. They're at a point now where temperature checks are going to be going away soon, and hopefully they're going to start letting guests come in from outside of the state. So,
right.
But cool.
And I think that's it for news this week, which
all
is
right.
Quiet.
It is a little bit quiet, a little bit.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, for the most part, it is. Yeah, for sure. So this week, Matt and I kind of took a little detour from our regular scheduled plans of things, and we decided we were going to talk about Universal Studios this week. Taylor and I were just over there this past week. We were staying over there last week, like I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, and I thought it would be beneficial for us to talk a little bit about planning a vacation over to Universal. A lot of people have been going to Universal more than they've ever gone this past year, and so there's a lot of different there's still a lot of different things that you can do over there compared to Disney, and you can still have a great time. Is it going to be all the same stuff? Obviously not, but we're going to talk a little bit about that today.
Right.
So, you ready?
Yeah, let's do this. Josh, where did you guys stay? I didn't get a chance to check in with you about that. Where did you guys stay when you were there last week?
That's a great question, Matt. We stayed at one of what I would consider Universal's value resorts, which is Endless Summer Resort. Okay. This is actually located across I-4, so it's actually just south of the Universal property, and they actually have two buildings over there, two different hotel buildings, you could say, which is Dockside, which is where we stayed, and then they have Surfside, which is a little bit smaller, and it is currently closed. Should be reopening, I think, later this year at some point. But it is, in comparison, if you have never stayed over there before, you don't really know what to expect. When I say value resort, that is similar to what Disney's value resorts are. So, but what actually makes this a little bit more advantageous is that the pricing is usually cheaper than Disney's value resorts, and it's a newer resort. So it's very clean, and the pool is huge. They've got a Starbucks in the lobby. They've got a huge food court down there with some really great food options. So, I guess what better place to start than to really start talking about some of the hotels if you're thinking about planning a vacation over to Universal. Right. And Matt, you said you haven't stayed there before?
I have not, unfortunately. My plans got a big detour, obviously, last August, but I'll be in the area this August, and I'm excited to stay and venture more into Universal before the infamous October 23rd Matt gets scared at Halloween Horror Nights.
I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. Yeah. Okay. Well, so for Universal, Taylor and I have only ever stayed at their value resorts. So we have not ventured into kind of like their moderate pricing or their deluxe pricing. But we have stayed at Cabana Bay, and Aventura, and then Endless Summer Resort. And I think out of those three, if you're looking for something that is priced comparably to a Disney Valley Resort and something that has a good amount of amenities, but also provides you something that's really great, like an entrance into a theme park, Cabana Bay is the place to be. Cabana Bay Resort is enormous. It is huge. They've got multiple pools. They even have a small little lazy river. But the best part about this whole resort is that you get a direct entrance into Volcano Bay. And so it's really hard to beat as far as pricing goes. I think Taylor and I stayed over there. I think it was like for almost $75 a night. And we had a theme park. We were in a tower room facing Volcano Bay. So you really could not beat the pricing sometimes over there. And it's fantastic.
I mean, from the pictures I've seen, Josh, and doing the research as an agent, I'm really a big fan of that old school beach style of the 50s and 60s that Cabana Bay really shows off. You know, I really like that vibe. That really that brings out a lot to me.
It's really cool. It definitely has that. I guess probably for some other people it'd be maybe more of a nostalgic factor to it, but you definitely get that old time feel. And I think obviously the decor in there is what really sells it. But what's even better about this place is that they have a bowling alley inside. And now I will say that if you are staying there, whenever you check in, the first thing that you should do as soon as you check in is go upstairs and get a reservation. So you will need a reservation to bowl, but get up there. Get one. It is going to cost you a little bit extra money, but it's totally worth it. It's so much fun. They've got food up there, and they've got drinks, both kid-friendly and adult-friendly as well.
Nice. Josh, how's your bowling game?
I mean, come on, man. I bowl like a solid, like 50, probably.
Are you the one that like spreads their legs and holds the ball and rolls it between their legs to just make sure it goes down the middle? Are you that guy?
I'm not a Tom.
That's me.
I'm not a Tom What's his last name? Haverford. That's a Parks and Rec reference if anybody out there is listening and watching. No, I actually try to pretend like I know how to bowl. And so I'll actually try to spin the ball and do like that nice, like where it like, almost rides the edge and then it's going to come back, but it actually goes right into the gutter. So that's usually what happens for me.
That's good enough. So I don't want you on my team.
No, you don't. No,
Okay.
you don't.
I think Goldgell Getaways has better bowling leaders than
I know that they do for sure. Yeah, so it's a fantastic resort. Again, you can't go wrong with Cabana Bay for all of the amenities and the features that it offers. And the other thing too, whenever you're thinking about Universal hotels, they all have a Starbucks in them, and I know that maybe a lot of people don't care, but I care because I think that's awesome. So, yeah. And then let's talk about Aventura real quick. So Aventura is not their most recent one that they built because I'm pretty sure Endless Summer is their most recent hotel that they built, but Aventura is still fairly new. You don't have a direct access from Aventura directly into Volcano Bay, but you do have a little private walkway that you can take. That'll take you right down into the entrance, which is really nice. And it's a little bit more like kind of futuristic. You get an iPad in your room that controls literally everything in the room. They have a robot that will bring you supplies of whatever you need for the most part. And they have probably what has been one of our favorite restaurants on property, which is, I want to say Bistro 17, Bar 17. Somebody will correct me in the comments, I'm sure. It's fantastic. It's got more of like your small bites, great drinks, and then just spectacular views from up top. But the food up there is it's fantastic. You get these awesome portion sizes for an extremely like value price. It is just, it's great. I think I got fried rice up there. And I mean, I think it was like, I hate saying numbers because if I'm wrong, then I'm like really wrong, but it was pretty cheap for like this ginormous bowl of fried rice. So it's just fantastic. But
yeah, Josh, the name of the place is Bar 17 Bistro.
Bar 17 Bistro. That's right. Yeah. So I had all the components.
Just in the wrong order. It's all good. I'm sure people would have still found it.
That's right. Yes, I hope so. Yeah, but I mean, and again, those are all going to be your value style resorts. So they're going to be the cheapest usually. And they're going to be something that isn't going to have as many amenities as you might have at the Hard Rock or over at Portofino. And that's just, that's kind of how all hotels work. So keep that in mind whenever you're thinking about it. I don't think Aventura actually has any what Universal considers suites, and this is a road that I don't necessarily need to go down. But Cabana Bay and Endless Summer Resort do have suite options for you. They're not. I really have a hard time saying that these are technically suites because when we stayed over at Endless Summer, and shameless plug for our own YouTube channel, WDW Couple, we're going to be having a video coming out this week where we show you the inside of the room for a 2-bedroom, and it's really more of like a studio with an extra bedroom. Not super big, but definitely if you've got a family of like 6, plenty of space. Family of 4, plenty of space. Obviously, if there's just 2 people, I don't think you really need that. Yes, Pam made a good comment here. Think All-Star Music Suites. That's pretty similar to what it is. You don't really have this, living space with a couch that opens up into a pull-out. You've got one space, which is your kitchenettes with a table, chairs, refrigerator, microwave, 2 beds. Usually they're like 2 queens or 2 fulls. And then you actually have a separate room with a queen-size bed. And of course they have a bathroom and shower. So
nothing wrong with that.
But it's still, I mean, like, again, you can't beat the price. I think we got that room for like, it was under, I want to say it's under $150. So for 2-bedroom for everybody to sleep there, I mean, like, that's pretty darn good. Right. But yeah, I mean, what else? Let's talk about transportation. Have you taken? I'm assuming you probably haven't taken any of their transportation, right, Matt?
Nope. But I did book somebody on the shuttle from the airport
Okay.
to Universal, which is it's a little bit different than Disney. It's a little bit of an extra cost,
Yep.
but having that shuttle service is always. I mean, if you're staying on Universal property or you're staying on Disney property, having just a shuttle service that can get you to your destination quick, I think that's a no-brainer. Instead of me personally, I'm not a person that's going to rent a car because I'm not going to venture out that much. But getting that shuttle service, it's a little bit different than Disney. Obviously, Disney used to deal with your luggage and stuff, but Universal 100% you deal with your own luggage and getting over there and all that stuff. And the guests that I've had experience that have really loved that feature that Universal offers everybody.
Which I will also add. I mean, if you are coming down here, if you really are going to be venturing out, definitely get a rental car. But if you're kind of like unsure, it has been unreal the last few times that we've been over to MCO and we are leaving and we're heading back out to get to our car. The line for the rental car places has been so outrageously long. It is insane. So, you can save yourself a lot of time and, have this option, get you there. Yeah, you still have to get your bags, but, it's a nice peace of mind. You don't have to worry about driving. Just relax.
Right.
Kind of let the vacation take over and get started. And the great thing about where Universal is at compared to where Disney is, Universal's much closer to like the actual city of Orlando. You're right on I-Drive. You can easily, probably not walk, but you could easily take an Uber or a Lyft or a taxi to anywhere that you need to go to, and it's not going to be that much money. A couple bucks here and there. So
people still take taxis.
I see them driving around. I don't know if I don't really ever see anybody in there, but I do see them driving around. So, okay. So we're talking transportation, right? Transportation, again, I know I'm making a lot of comparisons back to Walt Disney World, but what we really loved about taking the bus from Endless Summer Resort, because it's disconnected from Universal by I-4, the only form of transportation you have are the buses. And what's really nice, though, is that it is like almost exactly the same as being in Disney. So you're going to get on and they're going to take you right to City Walk and drop you off. And there are bus stops labeled right there. So it is this nice feeling of familiarity. And you don't necessarily need to feel kind of like, oh, I don't know what to do because it's my first time. If you've been to Disney, you've taken their bus transportation. It's literally almost the exact same thing. Just that they're Universal themed and not Disney themed. Right. I mean, I don't know what else to say, but it's pretty much what it is. And then your next option, which is something that you're only going to find at your moderate and kind of deluxe hotels, is going to be boats, which are super nice. They're pretty big. They hold a lot of people. And what's nice about those is that they actually do their security checkpoints right there at the resort hotel. So once you do that security checkpoint and then you get on your boat, they drop you right off in City Walk. You don't have to do anything else. You can go right into the parks. That's the only difference between the bus and the boats is that when they drop you off via the buses, you still have to go through security over at City Walk over at Universal. So, but I mean, really, it's. I know I'm doing a lot of comparisons here, but it's very, very similar. As far as kind of how everything operates, which is really nice because if you're somebody who's been going to Disney for so long, you want to kind of venture out and go to Universal. It's very easy to do. If you've been going to Universal a lot, you want to venture over to Disney. It's so similar. So similar. The question right here, I'm going to just check real quick. Great question. So Sharon asked, do you have to go to City Walk first to get to Volcano Bay from dockside, surfside, or is it a direct bus? There's a direct bus to Volcano Bay from all of the resorts. So which is really nice. It'll drop you off, and then you're going to have to go down and through this tunnel, and then you'll be right there at Volcano Bay. All of the security is right there at the bus stop for the drop-off for resort guests, if that makes sense. If you're driving, you will have to park at the City Walk parking garages and then take a bus from there to Volcano Bay.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's what we've really enjoyed about it. This past week is just how similar it is to get around, the feeling of it. I mean, it's nice. It's very relaxing. So let's talk about tickets and a very, very hot topic with Disney right now, which is annual passes.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys don't know, obviously you can still not, or you still cannot get annual passes at Disney World right now. They're not selling them. If you do currently have one and it's expiring, you should still be able to renew it. Taylor and I were able to renew ours back in late December, early January. And Universal, you can still purchase annual passes. You can purchase regular tickets. You also don't need a reservation to get into any of the parks. So that's really, in a lot of ways, why a lot of people are venturing to Universal, because there's a few less restrictions.
Right.
And I would suggest if you're going to spend at least 5 or more days probably over at Universal, you get an annual pass. It's going to pay for itself. You can do it monthly if you want to, I believe. I don't think you actually have to be a Florida resident like you do over at Disney World.
Right.
And there's some really great benefits with that. So you get a discount literally like everywhere. Starbucks, you get a discount.
Ooh.
So
that's big.
Yeah, it's nice. And of course, you're gonna have the same type of stuff with Disney that you have with Universal, blackout dates, depending on the tier that you get. But for us, we've got a Premier Pass. So what that means is that we actually have no blackout dates, and we have a Express Pass after 4 p.m. So if you don't know what Express Pass is, it's kind of like Fast Pass at Disney. You know, which I'm going to tell you, Matt, you know, that has been like one of the best things, because we can normally, when we go to Disney, we go first thing in the morning, we try to knock out a couple of things, and then we head home. But with Universal, we'll go over kind of like in the evenings, catch a little bit of that.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. We'll catch a little bit of that cooler weather, hit everything that we want to hit, and then we can head home.
I mean, some of the lines over at Universal are a little long, right? From my understanding.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of good rides, and those lines build up, and having that Express Pass is, I mean, clutch. Like especially if it's a part of that annual pass that you have. Do you have the pass do you get Horror Nights free with that? Is that? I do, but I actually have not used it the last 2 years that I've had it. Mainly because I always end up purchasing for Halloween Horror Nights. They're kind of like their season pass or whatever. Right. You know, so makes sense.
But yeah. Oh, and you know what? If you stay over at one of their deluxe resorts, right? So the Hard Rock, oh man, I can't think of what the other ones are right now, but if you stay over there, you actually get Express Pass included,
right?
With your stay, which is a really, really nice benefit for everybody over there. So it's really great. And
Josh, I want to stay at the Hard Rock, and that's one of those suites. Can we make that happen?
We could try.
I want to be a rock star. And I like the point that, like, and I know we've talked about this a little bit too, is like they got the Hard Rock Live there, and they have concerts and like big name comedians there, right? Yep. I mean, you're on your vacations. Like I know, like I've mentioned it. One of my favorite comedians, Bert Kreischer, is going to be down there at Hard Rock Live when I'm down there in October, and I think that's going to be. I think I'm going to be able to check out the venue.
Maybe send me the information for that, because I might get tickets for that.
My people call your people.
A single ticket for myself. I don't know if Taylor would want to go, but I would love to see him there. That'd be awesome. So, man, I mean, as far as like tickets go, yeah, you know, again, like I said, when you're thinking about planning a trip to Universal, probably one of the things that you may or may not know is that and we'll talk about this a little bit more here, but Universal has 2 different Harry Potter themed lands and attractions.
Right.
Well, they have multiple attractions, but you cannot experience both of those unless you have a park to park ticket. So this is like a park hopper basically. And you know, if you're really excited to go and see Hogsmeade and you only get a single day 1 park ticket, you're not going to be able to get in and see Diagon Alley either. Right. So that's really important to understand, really important to know. Your Disney tickets will not work over at Universal, vice versa. These are 2 completely separate properties. But you know, Matt's laughing, but it you know,
happens all the time.
Occasionally people do get a little confused, you know. Pam just made a great comment there that you cannot take the Hogwarts Express, which is what a lot of people like to do, without having a park to park pass. So we were actually going into Hollywood Studios at one point. This was a couple of years ago, and we felt so bad because we overheard a family talking to guest services, you know, wanting to go and see some of the Harry Potter stuff, and it was like, yeah, I'm sorry, but this is not. Yeah, this is the wrong property. Your tickets are not for the right place. So keep that in mind. But
I actually dealt with that this week, Josh. I had a friend of mine. We were talking Disney, and then they mentioned Harry Potter. And I had to stop in my tracks and kind of reel them back into reality that you're talking about two different theme parks. And
yeah. I mean, well, you know, and I think it's tough. You know, they get so much comparison, you know, like this where we're talking about it right now. So much comparison in the news. It is kind of easy for people who really don't know to maybe fall victim to that. But, you know, that's why you got to do your research. Do your research. Use a travel agent. So, you know, stay ahead of the curve on that one. But
exactly.
You know, a lot of people say Disney is just for kids and families. A very strong argument can be made that Universal is very much for those older teens and adults. And I think something that really solidifies that in many ways, first is Halloween Horror Nights, which we briefly touched on already, and is City Walk. So City Walk actually still has nightclubs that you can go hang out in. And if you actually stay on property, I'm pretty sure that you get I think you get entry into those without having to pay a cover charge.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So they do offer some other benefits with staying on property for you when you go to ever at City Walk and some other things as well. But, you know, City Walk, if you don't know, is very similar to something like Disney Springs, or if you're really old school, Downtown Disney. So keep that in mind. You're going to have a lot of restaurants. You don't actually have to pay or have a ticket to go into City Walk, but if you have your own vehicle, you will also have to pay to park there. But they've got a huge store. They've got this huge new Universal store that they just opened up, kind of similar to like a World of Disney, where they have just about everything and anything that you could need. No attractions. They do have mini golf out there, but you know, all of their attractions and everything they're saving for in the parks. So it's a nice place. We have found ourselves over there quite a few times just to have dinner because they have some good options to choose from.
What's your Josh, for the dinner options over there? I know they got some good variety. What's your spot like? If you could, no pressure right here.
No, I don't think there is any pressure. We say this all the time. Cowfish, hands down. It's not a, you know, it's not like it's not a big time chain, but it's also not like a local, you know, kind of mom and pop thing where it's just one establishment. They do have a few, I think up and down the East Coast. I think they might have one in Atlanta, maybe like one in Charlotte or something like that in North Carolina. But Cowfish is great. They've got some amazing burgers, some amazing sushi, and they even have this thing called burgushi, which is where they make burgers into sushi. It's all cooked, and it's fantastic. So you should definitely try it.
Maybe that's a Adam copycat.
Oh, I didn't even think about
We
that.
can put that on the.
Pam, write that down. Write that down, Pam. Bergucci.
I think that'd be a fun option for everybody to
That would
give
be
that a try.
sweet. That would be so cool. That was excellent idea, Matt. Excellent idea.
I try once in a while.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much to go into Universal the same way that there is so much that goes into Disney. You know, we break into the parks here. Universal does have, I don't know, a few kind of dark rides. The only real dark ride that I can think of right now would be E.T. I feel like everything else is kind of that 4D, 3D experience. So it's a little bit more intense. It's not really kind of that slow moving dark ride attraction. But, obviously what everybody seems to be coming to Universal for is Harry Potter stuff. So if you go into Universal Orlando, you've got Diagon Alley, you've got Escape from Gringotts, and then you have a lot of the same things that you can get over in Hogsmeade, like you can do the wand ceremony. Ooh. Where you go in and they like do all the wand testing on you, which is really cool. My brother did it. I think it was like last August or September, and it was a pretty cool experience. I haven't gotten to do mine yet. I'm a little sour about it, but I'll get there someday to do it. And then if you head on over to Islands of Adventure, again, you have to have a park to park to hit both of these in the same day. You've got Hogsmeade, which they have a brand new attraction, which is Hagrid's Magical Creature Motorbike Adventure. It's got a super long name. One of the best roller coasters in Orlando. And then you've also got the, oh my gosh, what's the other one? It's where you're actually like flying on a broom. Super cool how the ride actually works. And it's actually in the Hogwarts Castle. So you get to experience some really, really cool stuff that has to do with Harry Potter. Very, very immersive. This is kind of the stuff that gave way to a lot of what has been happening over in Disney World, especially in Hollywood Studios. But I do have to mention real quick, Velocicoaster. Anybody out there who hasn't ridden it yet, get over there and ride it. It's awesome. It's the best roller coaster in the whole state of Florida right now.
Just think, Universal's got two of the top roller coasters out there right now.
They do
in the area. That's, I'm really excited to get on that eventually.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't even know. Like this is kind of where we really start to separate a little bit of Universal from Disney, where Disney still has some really great roller coasters. Some people will disagree with me, but I would still venture to say that most of those are still family friendly for the most part. I think Aerosmith is a little bit over the top, right, for some kids going upside down. But you step over into Universal, this is a totally different world. You've got a lot of roller coasters over there, and a lot of like more thrilling 3D, 4D attractions and experiences. So, but oh man, Matt, if you could pick a time to come to Universal, right? If you're planning your own vacation, I mean, what kind of year, what time of the year do you think you would go?
Me personally, vacation wise, I'm always a fall guy. Maybe it's just due to the fact that I know it's not going to be crazy hot, or it's not guaranteed it's going to be like 100 plus. It's not like the summertime, but being a New Englander, I'm a big try to get down there between the middle of October to like second week of December. That would be my ideal time frame to come down to Florida. Especially through all the holiday season over your Halloween Horror Nights, you got your Thanksgiving time frame, and then starting into the Christmas holiday.
Oh, which excellent point too, because Universal, just like Disney, if you're looking to get a little bit of a different experience, also has different themes, which we already talked about, right? We talked about HHN, Halloween Horror Nights. Universal also does a Christmas themed or holiday themed kind of season,
right?
Where they've got do they call it the actual Macy's Day Parade
I
It's
think
something like that.
I think it's very very similar to that.
Which is super, super cool. This past year, even with the pandemic, was awesome because they actually had all of the floats in this giant
Room,
soundstage
right?
building, basically, and you could get really, really close to them, walk up and see them. And it was so cool. So they've got some other special things. Obviously, Harry Potter, those different themed areas, they get decked out with some Christmas decorations. So, and now actually, if you go over to Universal, they have been popping up with a lot of food booths, something very similar to Food and Wine and Flower and Garden Festival over at Epcot. So, which I found to be very, very interesting. But yeah, so
Josh, if you're in the parks, like you're my
okay.
food guy. You're my food guy.
Okay.
Like you're in the parks. What's your go-to in the parks? In obviously the Universal parks. Like you need something to eat. Where's your go-to? In either park, it doesn't matter.
That's a pretty tough one. That this might sound weird, but I think a go-to for me as far as a snack goes is going to be Annie Ann's. Believe it or not, they actually have Annie Ann's in the parks, and
Wow.
I love an Annie Ann's pretzel with cheese. So I'm all about that. As far as like getting some actual food, if you need to sit down, if I'm over in Universal Orlando, I'm either going to go to. There is a restaurant in the Simpsons place that in the Simpsons themed area. I can't remember the name, but they've got basically kind of like 3 or 4 different styles in there, from like it's kind of like seafood to hamburgers to like hot dogs, chicken, like all kinds of different things.
So you don't watch The Simpsons. You don't.
Oh boy.
So like it's in.
Unfortunately, I don't.
It's like the burger is obviously a crusty burger. Like, come on.
Oh yes.
Come on.
That is the name of it. I think it's the Krusty Burger. It is.
You're embarrassing yourself. You're so so young and you should know about The Simpsons.
I know. It's all on Disney Plus. It's all on Disney Plus. So if I don't go there, I would go, and probably just because of like the feeling of being there, I would go to the Three Broomsticks, or I think it's like the Hog's Head.
Okay.
In the Harry Potter themed areas. So both got really great food. I know this is kind of like doesn't have to do with food, but what I think Universal does really, really well is they don't allow you to actually sit down in the restaurant until you've actually ordered food. So you never have an issue finding a table, which is amazing. Something that I cannot say works well in Disney sometimes, but it is both those places are really great. So, and for drinks as well. We always go to the Hog's Head, and I usually get like a cider over there, and it's so nice and refreshing. But
and then Josh, I saw someone posted this in here. I need to know your opinion. Butterbeer, frozen, cold, hot. Like what is your like? I'm not a hot beverage drink guy, so obviously I'd probably go frozen, cold. Obviously, you're sipping on tea right now, so I'm assuming that's hot tea. So
it was hot. It was hot. It's cold now. We've been here for a little while. I actually always go frozen. I don't think I've ever tried it warm. I should definitely try it warm once, just so I can say that I've tried it, because I think I did see somebody in the chat had said about doing butterbeer as a copycat, which would be awesome. That's a really great one too. So I always go frozen. I mean, Florida, like 70% of the year is hot, so you can't go wrong with a frozen butterbeer, in my opinion.
And it won't be frozen very long.
Well, of course not. It's in my stomach usually by that point. So
yes,
I don't let it go I don't let it sit around that long. Can't do that. But it's a Universal as a whole. When we're talking about planning, it's honestly a perfect kind of partnership with Disney if you're looking to have a little split vacation, especially during the holiday season. Whether that's Halloween or Christmas holiday part, do a little Mickey's Not So Scary, or they're not doing that this year, but maybe do the after hours, do a little HHN. You're coming later, November, December, do a little after hours Mickey's Christmas party. No, that hasn't been announced yet, so don't anybody jump on me about it. But I'm assuming that's probably what's going to happen, and then maybe head on over to Universal and experience some of the Christmas stuff, holiday stuff over there. So,
especially with the Halloween stuff, Josh, it's two different. It's two different animals by far.
That is also true.
You know what I mean?
That is also true.
I'm obviously a lightweight, and Mickey's Not So Scary is right up my alley, and I am absolutely petrified of Halloween Horror Nights. But I'm gonna do it for the team.
Oh man, I can't wait. This is gonna be so great. Yeah, and again, as I had mentioned earlier, where we really started to see this division of kind of like the more family style of what Disney is, Disney World is, the more kind of older teens, adults in Universal. That is a hard division.
Right.
When you think about Universal for Halloween Horror Nights, they have actual signs that do say, if you're under a certain age, this is probably not good for you. God bless the parents who I see bringing like 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old kids in there. I don't know that I would do that, but hey, I'm not a parent. I'm not judging anybody that does do that. More power to you. But it is a completely different animal. You are actively trying to be scared. It is not, oh, it's Halloween, come get some candy. It's not it. I love that part of Disney. We love going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. But man, I love getting a little bit of a thrill when we go to Halloween Horror Nights. So
I think that's that part. I mean, because obviously we've talked about it. Is like I'm going to be down there in October, and Josh is going to video me crying, and we've talked about this for almost three and a half months now.
Yeah.
Is like I'm really excited to like I know what to expect, but I don't know what to expect at the same time. If that makes sense. Like I've seen videos, we've talked about it, but until I experience it,
that's true. I mean, that's a good point. I mean, the most that you can really expect of yourself, I think, as far as like being able to see things, is probably really the scare zones. I think even for some of the video that's out there of actually doing the walkthroughs of the houses, they don't do that justice. So, Eric, I love it. Eric's like, Matt, I'll be your scared buddy.
Eric's my man. He's always looking out for me.
I can't wait. It's going to be a fantastic trip. Oh man, what a great day that's going to be over there at Universal.
The director of fun of Goldgell Getaways is going to be the scared baby in the corner. I can't wait.
Maybe we should just get a room for the night to like split. Maybe we should do that. Like see if we can get something to split.
Maybe we can see what we can make happen.
We'll be there probably till like 2:00 in the morning. You gotta shut it down. You gotta shut it down there. So.
Hey, I'll do all day. I'll get a park pass in the morning. I'll do it all. I'm 100% down for this. I mean, I'm excited. The thing about it is, Josh, is that time frame. I'm going to probably be able to experience that. I'm going to be able to experience the Boo Bash, and see the two. Obviously, we just mentioned it. It's two different beasts, but like.
Yeah,
being an agent and being able to compare and contrast and be able to help people know the difference and understand that, like, if somebody came to me with their 6-year-old kid and they're like, oh, we want to do Horror Nights, you're probably going to get that's a hard probably no. Like, and you kind of got to, now I can give them from my experience of being soft that I cried.
I love your rationalization here and justifying you being there. I love it. I think that's great. Absolutely. Being able to help others. I think you're going to have fun. I think you will. I think you'll have fun. I don't think you're going to cry as much as you might think, but you never know. We'll see.
If it's about getting views for us, Josh, I'm willing to shed a tear.
Okay.
But right. We talked about this. They had that speculation map about a month ago.
Oh yeah.
In Beetlejuice house, that Creep Show. Trying to think of other ones just off the top of my head. HHN icons.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one.
That one I think is going to be big. Is like if they bring Jack back, and like that's that's one of the characters that I like from watching the videos. And then the one that freaks me out, that I'm excited and scared, and I don't know how I feel, is the puppet one.
Oh, that's actually one that I'm a little worried about, because I don't like dolls or puppets. So, I'm excited for that one. I'm excited to actually be scared in a house. So I can't wait. I can't wait. But well, cool. Thank you everybody out there who has been listening and watching. I know that we've been kind of like bouncing around a little bit. As far as this topic goes, if you are thinking about planning a Universal vacation, feel free, again, head on over to www.goldgellgetaways.com and submit out a quote form. Somebody will be in touch with you shortly. And if you guys have questions, always feel free to message us on Facebook, message us on Instagram. And something that we never do for Matt is throw his email up there.
No love for Matt. Oh, there we go.
So
it's also known as complaints@goldgellgetaways.com.
Or that. We should make a real email. That'd be funny. Yeah. Send Matt an email if you're looking to book a vacation. Doesn't necessarily need to be Universal. It could be Disney World. Could be a cruise line. Matt's actually pretty, well-versed in the travel scene. So
I like to use the word, I'm well-rounded.
Well-rounded.
Yes, because I'm
perfect.
Round. But
perfect.
Yeah, and if anybody, we know we got a lot of different people watching this. If anybody wants to shoot me an email with a topic that they would like us to discuss, and someone that's not an agent that's watching just live or on the replay, just hit me up with an email, and maybe it's a topic that we haven't talked about, that we haven't even thought about, and it could be a topic for an upcoming show.
Yeah, I mean, even if it is, it could even be something that we have, in a sense, talked about, and maybe we just break that down a little bit more into detail and answer some, maybe a little bit more fine-tune a topic or something like that. So,
right.
Send Matt an email, let us know. And Matt, I guess I'm going to throw it over to you.
Yep, we're back next week. And this is an episode, we're going to call it Part 2. So this is the return of Team Levine. So Ryan and Nikki are going to be joining us again. They just returned back from their Disney vacation. And we're going to check and see if their top 7 list has changed a little bit. Remember, their number 1 was Splash Mountain, which both Josh and myself found is an absolute joke. I will confirm that they did ride Rise of the Resistance on this trip. Let's see where everything falls on their new top 7. So check us out next week. Make sure to like and subscribe to the Goldgell Getaways YouTube channel. Give us a big thumbs up. And now we're off to plan your next vacation.
Bye, everybody.